All right, good afternoon, guys. A warm welcome here to everybody joining in. It's 1 minute after 3. This is the 1500-hour session, 3 o'clock. Before we get started here, guys, you are well aware that a lot of opinion will be discussed. Please do not construe it as advice in any way. It's good to be with you once again. If you're here for the very first time, a warm welcome to you. This is the TD Markets Academy. I'm Ashley Reeve, and we are going live 4 times a day. That's Monday to Friday, journeying with our clients, making sure that they understand, all our students, making sure that they understand how to look at the markets on a daily basis. That turns into weeklies, that turns into monthlies, and so forth. So once again, what a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. I'm seeing some of the guys online now. Tanya, Brett, Una, Lena, I see you there. Shirley Shakes, I see you online there. A warm welcome, guys. Let's give these slow pokes another minute or two to get by and come on and connect. Let's just give them a couple of minutes here, all right? 1 or 2 minutes just to connect real quickly. Come on, guys, like the stream here. Make sure that you like the stream. Let's feed the algorithm, as they say. Let's make sure that we get as many people online. Let's get it running so that we can reach out to more people. Let them see how simple it is to really day trade. It's really simple. It just needs to be explained in the right way. It just needs to be explained in the right way, and we take it from there. All right. We are live, guys. Come on, guys. Tabatso, I see you online there. Shira, I see you online over there. Louise Clark, yeah, guys, let Louise know there how you guys feel about the uranium related stocks there. Quickly, guys, quickly, let Louise know. That's a direct question on for the guys. How is everybody feeling about it? So, guys, give some views there for Louise. Chase, I see you there. Good afternoon. We're going to wait another minute or so for everybody to get online. We have some developments on our side, and we want to try and get into it. All right. Here we go, guys. We're going to be pushing now. All right, let's talk a little bit about our developments here, guys. Can everybody hear me? Let's make sure everybody can hear me quickly in the chat facility. Just quickly pop it in there. Can you hear me? I have some updates here on some of the fundamentals as well, guys. Quickly let me know. Am I clear there? That would be wonderful. Good. Yes. There we go. Nontle, I see you there as well. Good. All right. So, guys, U.S. stocks futures have risen a little bit here now. It's led by technology shares, traders led by technology shares. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are up around 0.5%, while the NASDAQ 100 is up almost 1% there. All right. So let's have a look quickly and see what's cracking here, guys. All right, let's have a look here and quickly see. So US 30 is up. We've seen some of it move up today, guys. Look at that, a real movement there. Technology shares has provided the surge over here. US 30, it's not really, as much as one would think of based on where we've come from this morning. but I'm sharing with you why it has risen. All right, guys, why it has gone a bit to the upside. The same with the S&P 500. I think we all know that we've seen the surge here. Mentioned to you guys that the 7495 is an area that is great. We've seen a bit of a pullback here now, but we do also understand that investors are waiting for Alphabet and Tesla earnings tomorrow, which could move the market, all right, especially these futures over here, all right. We see the NASDAQ has, also moved to the upside, pushing at the 29,000 level. I'm waiting for the 29,089 to be moved. Once that's there, that's brilliant, all right? That's fantastic. The name's Ashley Reeve, Louise Clark. The name's Ashley Reeve, all right? Ashley Reeve. Well, at this point in time, one will need to understand a little bit more. There's a few uranium stocks that we do have on the NYCE, Cameo Corp. We've got Uranium Energy Corp. We've got Centrus Energy, Next Gen Energy. We got, I believe it's the Nissan Mines. What's very important about these guys? The sector has obviously been gaining attention because governments are investing more in nuclear power for reliable and low carbon electricity. We're seeing that a lot of the AI data centers are increasing electricity demand, boosting a lot of the interest in the nuclear energy. So uranium supply remains relatively tight at this time, at this point compared with the expected future demand. All right, you can read all the fundamentals. You can look at what's happening in the sector. One will have to go and look at those charts as well. So that's where we amalgamate them. That's where we put them together and combine them. All right, that's very, very important for us. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll look at some of those charts. We'll see if we post some of them over here. And then we will see if there's any technicalities we can learn from there. All right, so let's see. Maybe just another look at some of those companies. We'll look at Cameco. I believe that's CCJ. Let me actually just double check here quickly. All right. And then I'll get into some of those major pairs here. All right. Let's just see if we have that CCJ. All right, let me go to the symbols here. Sorry, guys. Let me just help Luis here because Luis brought up uranium. So let's see if we have some of those. Chemical. Can everybody still hear me here, guys? If we don't have chemical, UEC. Maybe we have UEC. That's Uranium Energy Corp. We don't have that one here. What about Centrus Energy LEU? Let's see if we have. Hold on, guys. LEU. Okay, there's no interesting. NXE. Okay, looks like we don't have any of those at this point in time. DNN. Alright, guys, we don't have any of those ones here. Okay, nice. Okay. Alright, so we don't have any of those stocks at the moment. We don't have CCJ, UEC, LEU, NXE, DNN. Would have been nice to. Yeah, the ticker. I hear you. We don't have Energy Fuels here. Okay, nice. All right. There we go. Let's see. I try to look for the single stocks. We only have this one. Okay, but we wait for 3:30. Okay, so we wait for 3:30 to come, and then we'll push on that one. In the meantime, let's look at some of those stocks here. Some of those FX pairs. I have something on the Eurozone. So, Luis, I'll jump back in there with you around 3:30 because those tickers, those aren't running as yet. All right. So let's push quickly, guys. Eurozone. Let's look at the Federal Reserve. I want to look at some of the gold here real quickly. All right. Let's quickly go to the oil, guys. Let's go to the oil. All right. So you guys can see the oil price is pushing to the upside once again. All right, looks like we're pushing to the upside again. $93 a barrel, $93, $94 a barrel. Obviously, you guys know the price remains high because of the Iran and the US conflict. But we do know of a 10-day ceasefire at this point in time that's limiting a bit of the gains. That's why we're seeing a bit of the support here, some downside, then we get to the support. We got to wait and see what happens at this point. We do know on the hourlies, all right, that the oil price still has a lot of VUMA inside of them to push to the upside, all right? A lot of the VUMA to push to the upside. So we're going to wait for this one to see how it goes. The more the oil price pushes up like this, the better it is for our trades that we have running at the moment, like gold, all right? So gold at this point in time, it obviously climbed back to this zone over here around $4,084 per ounce. We do know that investors are obviously buying gold as a safe haven, guys, whilst watching the Middle Eastern conflict. Those rising oil prices are also increasing the inflation fears. And this is supporting the gold, or at least that narrative over there. So we're bullish for gold while these geopolitical risks remain a little bit higher there. Obviously, we're waiting for the 411 2.26, all right, to really come through for us. Once that happens, then we could go up. We know that this morning, needless to say, many of the guys that has been with us, they have capitalized on this movement from there to there. And that's very, very, very good. And that's very nice for us guys because, that is giving us the impulse we needed. This is obviously just the correction within the structure. So that higher low there, we want to see how far we push up from that specific side. All right. So the gold price at this point in time, we're waiting for it to make some more significant moves. Let's see what the support does. The Federal Reserve, on the other side, they obviously now expecting to leave interest rates unchanged next week. However, one should not omit the following. Traders now see over a 60% chance of a rate hike in September because of higher oil prices, all right? And this could keep that inflation elevated. So the impact then is higher interest rates expectations are generally bullish for the US dollar, guys, and can obviously, pressure or put pressure on gold and the stock markets over time. So that's where the Federal Reserve is right now. But we can see how it's moving between 47%, then it goes to 53%, then it goes to 56%, and now we're sitting at a 60%. So obviously, as you guys know, we've been pushing exactly, Brett. It's now gone up from 53%. Yeah. So obviously that percentage, we don't stick to one specific narrative all the time. That's not how the markets move. The markets move with a specific concept, and then inside of that specific concept, there are different narratives at play. Look how many narratives we've had within the conflict of US and Iran. We've had ceasefire, we've had agreements, we've had, I believe, a 60-day or something like that, an agreement of peace talks, and so forth, all right? We've had the Strait Open. We've had all of these different narratives within that concept of the conflict. So it's never just, one-dimensional. It's multidimensional in these concepts, and that's what makes the markets move. It's exactly that. The same with silver here. You can see we're also at this specific place of resistance, and we're waiting to see what happens here, guys. At the end of the day, we haven't really moved much outside of what we had spoken about earlier on this morning. I mean, we've been together at 9:30, we've been together at midday, and at this point, we are still sitting at that very same resistance. Now, we're about 15 minutes out of the US Open, and what happens here is that we could get some action coming down here, a little bit further down back into the 58-point level there when it comes to silver. That means that gold could have something similar, unless something totally different happens and the geopolitical risk finds us some support and we dig deeper into the $4,100 per ounce. We're going to have to wait and see on that one, guys. All right, we're taking this, day by day, and we're looking to see then what happens as time goes on. Euro USD is Also, that an asset that we've been watching. What we do know at this point, guys, economic confidence in the Eurozone improved more than expected, guys. All right, it improved more than expected, and we're seeing that a lot of investors are becoming more optimistic. The tensions in the Middle East could, eventually slow down and eventually ease up. So the impact of this is that the euro is slightly positive there. All right, slightly positive. We do know that this is the hourly and the minutes coming down here, guys. Charts that we're looking at. We're not looking at the higher time frames. Remember, we're switching between minutes and hours, and then obviously you also have the days and the weeks and the months. So in the trading rooms here specifically, what we're looking at here is we are looking at minutes. These are the fast moving assets that we obviously check out. Yes, we do look at hourlies, and yes, we do look at monthly movements. You'll find that Bitcoin becomes a specific asset that we also look at. It may not move in 1 minute or 2 minutes, but you'll find that on the hourlies, on the dailies, and the weeklies, you're going to find a whole lot more value there when it comes to that specific movement there. All right. So here we're still seeing a bit of dollar strength come in today. This is the hourly time frame, and you can see that at this point, all right, this was obviously in the London and the Tokyo, has created a support. The US session today might just break this morning support for us to come back down to the 1.13955. We just got to wait for that one to materialize. At the end of the day, guys, all right, when it comes to trading, we know that time and patience, and while time that moves is going to print the price in structure. And we are following the structure right now. And in this specific case, for the week and the start of last week, the euro has been pretty weak against the dollar. So you can see it. This is Tuesday. Obviously, there's Monday, which was yesterday. We have last week Friday. And then obviously last week Thursday, we started seeing a structure to the downside. And so on a weekly basis there, tomorrow being Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to see that from one side of the week to the other side of the week, where does the euro sit against the dollar? That's going to be a very, very interesting one over there. All right. We also looked at Bitcoin earlier on, guys, and we said we're going to be seeing the 71,000 mark. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's just look at the other major pairs against the dollar. We have the pound. I'm still currently in, profits over here. Let's quickly see who else is in profits here. That's with the GBP USD. I know there were some guys in the midday session that was also interested and got into the GBP USD. Anyone else here real quickly, guys? Make sure that your MT5 is on as well on your side, yeah? Make sure it is on your side there as well. All right, quickly, guys. Quickly. Let me know if you guys are in the GBP USD and how that is working for you. We're still seeing it go down to the 1.33379. That's the structure. Remember, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, this was last week, Thursday, created the high on the Wednesday. So we are about 1 week in now from last week Wednesday to this week, Wednesday, which is tomorrow. All right, we are already down with a beautiful structure. We could end off being Tuesday. We could end off Wednesday at 1.33379. Exactly a week, all right, of structural movement to the downside, guys. All right, it's on and I'm back in. All right, are you sitting in some chankuras over there, Shira? Are you in some of the cash there? That would be good. I am here. All right, the AUD USD, guys, you can see we're now moving into that zone that I had highlighted for you. We can see it between the 70090 and 70053. All right, let's see how it fares here, guys. Like I say, we might just, in 10 minutes time, find a lot of movement coming down to this area over here. That is approximately, for scalper's dream there, we're looking at about 19 pips there, but from there to there we're looking at about 49 pips, just shy of 50, which is a fantastic amount. And there's a lot of divergence here. You can see the divergence there. So there's a lot of exhaustion at the top of this resistance, even although it doesn't look that way when you look at it from that angle. There's a lot of divergence here. So we're seeing the AUD USD still come down despite the higher interest rates in the Australian economy. We're still seeing the push to the downside here because, guys, even although the fundamentals are happening, price still needs to balance. All right, so that's why you have the fluctuation. It needs to balance. Price can't just go up. There has to be a balance. NZD USD has now broken through. This is wonderful for us. Now I'm waiting for let's see the 15-minute. You see, there's no convincing candle yet. The 15-minute, this would be a great candle, by the way. Let me just get the candle timer on here so I can count it down. So there's 8 minutes left on this candle. Yeah, look at this candle here, guys. This one over here, specifically, hold on. You'll see that more than 3/4 of the candle is above that mark. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this candle here. So if we can close in the next 8 minutes, look at this. If we can close 7 minutes, sorry, if we can close in the next 7 minutes, like this will be brilliant. This will be phenomenal. Let's look at the 5-minute. Okay, the 5-minute is okay, but I mean that 15-minute is great, right? This is brilliant. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Look at this candle here. That's a nice. This is some of the guys might just go in now. Some of the guys might just go in now, guys. That candle right there, that's brilliant. Oh, that's a nice candle right there. I see the Apolele. Look at the stubborn US 30. I see there between NZD and GBP. I'm in blues. All right, got you. I got you. All right, so let's see it, guys. I mean, there's 15 minutes left here. 7 minutes left. 6 now. Just under 7 minutes. I'm going to wait for that candle. If I can get a close like this, if this candle can close like this, I'm going in for my short with the NZD. So I am waiting now for this one. All right, and then the US 30, which I mentioned in the beginning. Hold on. No, Shira. No, I'm not. I'm saying NZD USD. I'm waiting for 6 minutes and 27 seconds before I get in. All right, that's what I'm saying. All right, Apolele, the US 30, there has been some gains. I mentioned that in the beginning of the stream that we're seeing the technology sector is the reason for the push to the upside. Both on the US 30, the S&P 500, as well as the NASDAQ. All right, and then obviously, please don't look at it only today. We are also waiting for the NASDAQ 100, not the NASDAQ 100, sorry, the Alphabet, which is Google there, and Tesla earnings tomorrow. So that might also move these guys. All right. Then USD JPY is still sitting at a deep resistance, guys. As you can see, I still think we're coming to tank here at some point. I think the dollar is going to move whilst it can, and then we're going to come down here on the USD JPY. Perhaps the Japanese government's intervention will help us do that. So we're waiting then for USD JPY at this point. We've got 6 minutes left until we see any movement there now. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes left. All right, then let's go and look at the USD CAD. You can see now it is continuing its ascension to the upside. This is what we looked at yesterday, guys, to the 1.41149. Look at that, absolutely fantastic here. We're going up to that area. So it's really been a fantastic week so far, guys. Look at the GBP yen. I'm in here now. I went in with the GBP yen. I'm on a short here to 215. And I'm just going to leave this one to run, guys. I'm actually in the short right now. I got in after the 218.137. And this is a good 191 points to the downside. Look at that. The NZD JPY, I've not gotten in here yet. I said to you guys this morning that I'm waiting for 94.660, which is the blue line right there. I'm waiting that. If I can break over there, if this structure can be broken right there, I'm going in for my shorts there. All right, that's the NZD JPY. The Euro Yen below the 185. I'm not seeing anything right now at this point. It's still really just in this top side of this resistance. I do see price, from a structural perspective, not coming down immediately. Down there, we may just, fluctuate a little bit first. All right, we'll have to wait and see. All right, and then obviously the gold price there for some of the guys I know. This after it was at midday. It was, who was I speaking to there? Someone asked for it. It was Preston. There we go. It was Preston. Preston asked about the gold, and this was my view. All right, I mentioned there technically, we know that gold is getting supported by the geopolitical uncertainty, but like I said, guys, price has to fluctuate. So this is the 15, the 5-minute view here of gold, that we're going to get a bit of movement down first, because there's a lot of divergence at that top there. So let's see how this goes here, guys. We're still moving. The S&P 500 is now going up. Look at that. This was midday's analysis, and now we've possibly found a bit of support. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left before we get into the US Open over here. All right, let's see. All right, let's get some of these stocks now there for Luis, because we're going to get in there now. All right, let's see. Energy Fuels right there. Hopefully this chart is going to be packed. Don't forget the Euro GBP. We're still in there as well. And then Euro. Hold on for me, guys. I'm just trying to get this for. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I'm seeing that there's actually there's no data yet at the moment. All right. I'll actually have to take this up there. All right, Luis. Hope Luis is still online. Yeah, let me just make a note of that, because I'm actually seeing it now. Hold on, guys. All right, so I've actually put that through now. All right, to support there. I'm not seeing any movement on those. All right, so bear with me. All right, so, and Euro NZD has now surpassed. Look at this. Euro NZD has now surpassed the area that we went to yesterday. Look at that. That's wonderful. All right, let's try on the NY. Let's try these ones here. I think we have, there we go. Aura. Okay, Aura Bioscience. There's no data yet at this moment. Then we also have GCL. Hold on for me. Geiger. We don't have Geiger on here. We also have KAP. That is Kazatron, Berkeley, BKY. Okay, YCA. Just looking if we have some of them here. Okay, so we have the stocks, but I'm not seeing any data there. Okay, so I'll just inquire, and then we'll just revert back to that. Okay. Yeah, I'll just inquire there. Looks like they've been deactivated. So I'll just find out what's happening, okay? Yeah, I'm just leaving just a little bit. So it looks like they've been... I'll just find out and then I'll just revert back. All right. All right, Russell 2000, guys. Oh my, look at this. And I'm in a buy here. Guys, I'm in a buy here. On Russell 2000, I got in with a buy limit right there. Found a bit of support now, Russell 2000, because we did, remember I said to you that we broke above the specific zone over here. All right, and that's important. All right, this is important. It broke above here. And I put a buy limit in because I looked and I saw, you know what, we might be pushing down one more time. And I got one. I actually got a buy limit on using the Fibonacci. I dragged it from there to there. And you can see it's exactly in alignment with the 38 point area there on the Fibonacci. That's what I looked at there. All right, that's what I looked at there. So I'm currently, is there anyone else that got into the Russell 2000 here, guys? Anyone else here that saw that Russell 2000? Anyone, guys? Anyone else? All right, let's go and look at that NZD USD. And we said 15 minutes. Ooh, what a candle. What a candle, guys. So I've just gotten into NZD USD. What a candle. And I just got into the NZD USD. So I'm looking for this. You see that there, guys? I'm looking for this specific zone here. You see that? So I actually want to add more volumes over here. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So I've just gotten into the NZD USD. GBP USD still brilliant. AUD USD is pushing here, guys. So this is now the US Open. And we're seeing Russell 2000 move. We have the Russell 2000 moving. When the VIX has gone up, flew up from that support area right there. All right, S&P 500, we're seeing that it would like to push to the upside. NAS has pushed up to my zone at 29,000, guys. I mean, look, guys, if we look at the first 2 days of trading, we're doing very well here. We're doing very well here. Look at the gold euro. It was something similar to the gold dollar, XAU USD, XAU euro at this point in time. There is definitely a correction happening at this point. We might be pushing up maybe later or tomorrow, but we're doing very well, all right, at this point in time. NZD JPY, look at this. It's as if it wants to push to that area. Look at that. Look at that. GBP yen, I'm down here. Anyone else in GBP yen here, guys? Quickly, guys. No, Tabatso, it's not past it yet, eh? NZD JPY, it's going to 94.660. GBP yen has. And then, do you guys remember, Tanya? Did you see here? I remember when I got out of CHF JPY, I said to you it reached an area of rejection. Look at that, and look what happened. Boom. So we got out before that happened. That was actually really cool. We got out just before that happened. So GBP yen is already down. NZD JPY is still going. We're still waiting for that. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, look, I'm a little bit more weary on the commodities versus forex, to be honest. All right, because commodities is more like the waves. Forex to me is more like a stream. It works nicely within its river or its stream banks. It respects levels a little bit much better than, I mean, CHF JPY, yes, it came out, but it went back up. Do you see that? So it may misbehave a little bit, but it doesn't misbehave like a gold, like the gold example. So gold might have possibly come down till here. Then from there, it goes up. So yes, the structure can be affected a little bit, but it will always move back. Look at Euro GBP now. Look at Euro GBP. It's doing phenomenally here, guys. All right. It hasn't reached. Yeah, it has not. It's not reached it yet. Okay. So guys, we're waiting for. Remember we spoke about AUD JPY, and we said look at those highs. Now it's like it wants to come back down. So guys, if we just loop back quickly, real quickly, okay, let's loop back. The oil price has pushed up to those areas that we had spoken about. We said if it breaks this neckline here, we go back up, and it has done that now. All right. With this specific movement to the upside, it's supporting the gold narrative. All right. But at the same time, the oil is also supporting the dollar narrative. That's what I explained this morning. That's why we have to be careful to not attribute the movement one-sided. The oil price going up means that obviously inflation becomes the fear because things get more expensive. Don't forget oil. When we are looking at the oil price, we know that oil is is one of the ingredients that helps us cultivate and manufacture almost everything that we have. We know that from fuel to plastic, textiles is involved there. Everything becomes expensive. Not only that, the logistics around transporting and so forth, all of that is added into the surge of the oil price. Now, when inflation goes up because of that, we have the Federal Reserve Bank that needs to mitigate risk. They need to balance the equation. If inflation goes up, they need to raise those interest rates as well. All right, because things are getting expensive, there has to be some form of money because money slows down in terms of spending when it comes to the consumer. But investors can still cash in and still bring some revenue in by purchasing, i.e. those government bonds, which has a higher yield, that treasury yield, all right, when they raise those interests. Remember those yields or those bonds that they buy it at a specific interest rate. It gets fixed into that specific time, and then investors actually get some interest rate payments locked in for a specific period. So it serves both narratives, both the goal, because now guys are moving into uncertainty with the inflation, so they go to safe haven demands that's appreciating. But then on the other side, they're also going into the dollar because of that yield and because of that interest rate. So that's why we're seeing gold push up, silver push up, and we're seeing the dollar, the euro dollar, pound dollar, all of it coming down. All right, because the money split in between. You're not seeing one correlated activity happening. Oil really splits the investor's mind there. All right. So hence, there we go. Look at this now. Look at this. It's so close to that area. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. Brett says, I was first explained about trading and had it bashed into my head that if you can master gold, you are good to go. But I found out contrary to that as well. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, that is not the case. You have to look at this thing intricately, and you have to look at where the value is, right? Example, which I like about Luis. I'm not sure if Luis is still on here, but some of those stocks there, uranium stocks, that it doesn't look like it's activated on our side here. We have put down the request, to some of the guys on the back end there, but the thought around it was, look, uranium remains bullish because there's a lot of demand for the nuclear power, all right, and because of supply and it being, inverted commas, limited and so forth, it's helping keep that uranium price supported. So the positive news, which is what I like here, is that if you're trading those uranium stocks, you're finding that that supply is allowing the cushion for those stocks to go higher. All right. For as long as there is supply issues or supply disruptions, we found it exactly the same thing in oil. When supply disruptions come in, it supports the price to go higher. All right. So why I like the question, why I like that specific way of looking at diversifying your portfolios, because that is how value shifts. Value can shift from oil to gold to uranium to copper. In fact, I had something on copper as well a little bit earlier. I believe we do have copper here. Let me just go in then quickly see. I think we do have copper, guys. XPD. I think we do have copper here. Zinc, XPD. We have lead. Let me go into the symbols. Let me just look at that. That's silver. That is platinum. Guys, with all of these things, I sometimes lose the tickers there. XPD. That is palladium. The copper's not here. Why did I think we have copper, guys? We have palladium and platinum we had. Okay, palladium and platinum. For whatever reason, why did I think we have we had copper? Okay, we don't have copper. Yeah, I'm showing all. Sorry, guys, I'm just quickly looking through. I'm just looking through it quickly. All right, quickly. All right, we don't have. All right, apologies for that, guys. But yeah, man, exactly, Brett. That's. Let me just make sure. All right, let me just make sure. There's the cop. XCU, yes. Exactly, guys. XCU USD. It's exactly what XCU, yes. I have, exactly. So I was not. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I mean, we had something on copper here, guys. There we go. There's it right there. I knew I had it here somewhere, man. Copper. So this one jumped nearly 3%, guys. All right. Demand from China here remains pretty strong. So again, supply and demand at the end of the day. All right. So let's look at this from a daily perspective here. Lots of divergence, guys. All right. Lots of divergence. Please do not get fooled by this technicals here. This is just telling us that we might get copper to go back up to roughly around this area here. That's it. All right. It does not mean that we are buying copper right now, even although the demand has jumped nearly 3%. All right. And that's reached a 5-week high. So please, guys, technically, all right, we're seeing the price surge to the upside. Yes. Yes. But that does not mean that if you're going to be buying, that it's going to be sustained and moving to the upside. At some point, when we touch, we are going to come down again. All right. Now, again, the demand from China there, it does remain strong because we know that while that supply has been disrupted by, I believe it was the bad weather there in Chile, we're seeing that the impact for it is as they, well, there's a lot of guys that's bullish on copper. So the rising back to this area around 1417, all right, 14187, sorry, becomes great. But once it touches that specific area, we had 13789 now. Once price shoots to there, at some point we're going to have to come down. Now remember, this is a daily view. Now what you can do is you can leave price to run, let it move. When it touches there, you can drop down now. You see, now you drop down to a much lower time frame, like a 1 hour or a 4 hours, an example, right? And then from there, you can start engaging in it now. But look for the divergence first. I'm not seeing divergence here yet on the hourlies. I'm not seeing any divergence yet. Yeah, there's no divergence. The divergence is on the monthly view. It's not on the hourlies yet. So we need the daily view to start pushing up first, so that once it has exhaustion at the top, we can start seeing it coming down. That's what we want to see. All right, that's important for us. All right, so guys, we're doing very well today, guys. Also, just so you do know, the rand did strengthen ahead of the South Africans inflation data tomorrow. And obviously, we know that the South African Reserve Bank interest rate decision is on Thursday, and we know that inflation is obviously expected to rise to 4.7%. And we know that the SARB, the South African Reserve Bank, is expected to raise those rates by 1/4%. All right, 1/4%. That will put the rate there at 7.25. So if the SARB, if the Reserve Bank, hikes those rates, it can provide further support to the rand. So for the guys that are trading the USD ZAR, that's into the USD ZAR, let's go for it. Let's go and see there what's happening. If you are trading the USD ZAR, guys, exotic pair, further support, we had 1648 now. This is the hourly frame. Guys, I'm not seeing any proper divergence here. I'm not seeing proper divergence here, guys. Just give it a sec. Give me a second. I'm seeing, my word. Yeah, I'm not seeing. So coming down to 1640, the lowest I'm going to be putting here is 16. If the Reserve Bank, obviously the expectation is there, 1/4%, 1629. But that's what I'm going to give it for now. I'm trying to find divergence on the lower time frames. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, no, let's wait on this one, guys. For anyone trading the ZAR, please make sure that you see it 1629, from 1647, 1639, and then 1629. Let's have a see how that. Yeah, because remember, they don't move as smoothly as the major pairs. All right, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the divergence to develop over time, because the Euro USDs, the GBP USDs, these guys are all moving quite a bit. All right, guys, NZD USD now, I am in here. I'm still in, maybe just to loop around quickly, guys. Oil price, you can see we're still at that high there. The gold price, guys, we're still stuck over there. We've not really moved away. The silver price also, we've dug deep into that one. Like I mentioned, we were here a couple of minutes ago and we've come down. All right, so we might be coming back down first, a little bit deeper. The Euro USD, a bit of a rejection at that same zone there now. The GBP USD is looking good, but you can see there's a bit of rejection right here at the zone here. Look at that. Bit of rejection there. The AUD USD, we are now down at that level there. Look at that. Wow, what a close. I'm gonna give this a chance to give me another close beneath. If I can get a lower low here, I'll go in. Then I'll leave it to run. All right. NZD USD, I'm already in here. Some of you guys might have gotten in here too. US 30, you can see here, we've not managed to push back up for now. Then we have the Euro GBP come back down again, but we're still anticipating to go up to that area there. So we're really doing well at this point in time, guys. We also have the GBP yen for short. I'm already in here, and I'm also in on I'm not in on the NZD JPY. So GBP yen, I'm in there, guys, and I'm seeing a rejection on Russell 2000, but that's good for me, because when I see that kind of rejection, it's just a matter of time before price finds support, and then we go back up again. So this is a lower high for now, but at some point we're going to get to a support, and we're going to have to go and balance that out. So I'm really, really happy about that one as well. The Euro JPY at this point, I'm not in there. Jace, I saw that you are in. I'm not in on that one. And then we have the NAS 100. We're still below the 29,000 point mark. We're going to have to wait and see what's happening, guys. But we're doing pretty well here for our second day into the week, guys. We are doing pretty solidly here. Ethereum, I'm already in the Bitcoin, like I said, so we're still waiting for the Ethereum to move up a little bit. All right. But we're doing very well, guys. We're doing phenomenally here. Price is moving really nicely in the directions that we have anticipated. We'll see how that goes. But I'll be back again at 6 o'clock. We'll be checking in with our GBP USD, our NZD USD, our GBP yen, and then we'll see where the NZD JPY is as well. All right. But I'll see you guys at 6 o'clock. Great time together. And we've managed to get into some fantastic movements here. And we'll take it from there at 6 o'clock. All right. So you guys have a good one. Don't forget to like the stream. Like it, guys, so that we can get more of the guys on here. All right. Have a good one, guys. All right. Ciao. Bye-bye.